What's going on, Eagles Nation? It's a chilly October morning in Philadelphia, but things are heating up fast inside the Novacare complex. The Birds are 6 games into the season, and the offense is struggling to take flight. Whispers around the league are turning into full-blown conversations. Could a familiar face, maybe even a Super Bowl-winning face, be on his way back to the city of brotherly love? There might not be an assistant coach in the NFL under more pressure right now than Philadelphia's first-year offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo. Once seen as a bright mind under Nick Sirianni, a guy who worked closely with the quarterback room, Patullo's transition to play caller has been rocky to say the least. Through 6 weeks, the Eagles' offense ranks near the bottom of the league, 29th in total offense with just 274.5 yards per game, 28th in passing yards at 179.2, and 26th in rushing yards with only 95.3. For a team that was in the Super Bowl just 2 seasons ago, those numbers are stunning. The offense that once soared behind Jalen Hurts and the brotherly shove now looks grounded. Fans are frustrated, talk radio is on fire, and analysts are asking if the magic has worn off. Enter a name that still echoes through Philly like a hero's chant: Doug Peterson. Yes, that Doug Peterson, the man who brought the Lombardi Trophy home in 2017, the man who turned Philly special into football folklore, the man who led a locker room of underdogs to the biggest upset in Super Bowl history, toppling Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Recently, while appearing on the Dan Sileo show, Peterson was asked whether the Eagles had reached out about returning in a consulting role. His response was classic Doug, part coy, part candid. "I'm shaking my head yes, but actually no," Peterson laughed. "They didn't. I think too, because I was a head coach there, I don't know if that's... I don't know." Pressed a bit further, would he even consider such a role? Peterson admitted, "I probably would have. I think too, though, I don't know what the protocol is for former head coaches going back to their place where they won a championship. But yeah, I'd consider it." That's not a door slammed shut, that's a door cracked open. And it's one that makes a lot of sense. Peterson isn't just a nostalgic name, he's a proven offensive architect. In his 5 seasons leading the Eagles from 2016 to 2020, he posted a 42-37-1 record in the regular season and a 4-2 postseason mark, including that unforgettable Super Bowl 52 win. Remember, he turned Carson Wentz into an MVP candidate before injury struck in 2017 and guided Nick Foles to the greatest backup-to-champion story in NFL history. When Peterson moved on to Jacksonville, he did it again, resurrecting a lost Trevor Lawrence, taking a struggling franchise, and turning it into a playoff team. He's not just a play caller, he's a quarterback whisperer. And that's exactly what this current Eagles squad needs. Let's be honest, Jalen Hurts hasn't looked himself this season. He's forcing throws, missing reads, and that calm leadership we've come to expect looks shaken. Having someone like Peterson, who coached Hurts as a rookie and knows his skill set, could be the spark to reignite his confidence. Imagine Doug in a consultant role, helping retool the passing game, adding more RPO dynamics, and getting Hurts back to playing free, fast, and fearless, the way he did during that magical 2022 run. This situation isn't new for the Eagles. Philly has a long history of bold coaching decisions, sometimes controversial, but always dramatic. From Buddy Ryan's defensive swagger in the 1980s to Andy Reid's West Coast brilliance in the 2000s to Peterson's fearless play calling that made legends out of underdogs, this franchise has never been afraid to shake things up. And now, under Nick Sirianni, who's facing his first real storm as a head coach, the question is whether he'll make a move before this season spirals further. It's worth remembering that Eagles fans are as passionate as they come. This is the city that booed Santa Claus and threw snowballs at him, but it's also the city that will love you forever if you deliver. Right now, fans are desperate to see the same creativity and swagger that defined the team just 2 years ago, the deep bombs to A.J. Brown, the precision routes from Devonta Smith, and that unstoppable ground game behind Jason Kelce and the offensive line. But lately, the play calling has felt predictable, almost robotic. 3rd and long, screen pass, red zone, fade route that sails into the stands. It's not the aggressive, fearless brand of Eagles football that this city demands. Across the league, insiders are starting to connect the dots. Former players like Brian Dawkins have hinted that leadership and creativity are key in moments like this. Analysts like Albert Breer and Dan Orlovsky have noted that Hurts seems hesitant, a sign of either overthinking or miscommunication with his coordinator. And if we imagine what a rival coach might say, "You've got to let Hurts play free again," one NFC coach might remark. When he's improvising, extending plays, using his legs, he's dangerous. Right now, they're trying to make him something he's not. That's the heart of it. The Eagles' offense has always been about rhythm, confidence, and attitude, Philadelphia attitude. Doug Peterson embodied that. Remember that 4th and goal call in the Super Bowl, Philly special? That wasn't just a trick play. It was a statement. It told the world that the Eagles don't play scared, they play their way. And right now, that identity feels lost. Bringing Peterson back wouldn't just be strategic, it'd be emotional. Picture him walking back into Lincoln Financial Field, greeted by a standing ovation from 70,000 fans singing, "Fly, Eagles, Fly." Jason Kelce, the heart and soul of this team, gives him a hug at midfield. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith nod in respect. And Jalen Hurts quietly listens, ready to learn from a man who knows what it takes to climb the mountain. Sure, it might feel awkward at first. After all, Peterson was fired by the same organization. But sports are about redemption, and few stories would feel more right than this one. So what happens next? The Eagles' front office, led by Howie Roseman, isn't known for sitting still. If things keep trending downward, if the offense continues to sputter, expect some kind of shakeup. Maybe Peterson doesn't walk in tomorrow with a headset in hand, but a consulting role, a quiet advisor behind the curtain, that makes sense. The next few weeks could decide everything. With divisional matchups against the Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders on the horizon, the stakes couldn't be higher. A win streak could calm the noise, but another ugly loss or two, and those calls for Peterson might be deafening. At the end of the day, this is Philadelphia, a city built on grit, heart, and comebacks. Whether it's Rocky running up the Art Museum steps or Nick Foles catching that touchdown in the Super Bowl, this town thrives on redemption. Maybe the next great redemption story is still waiting to be written, with Doug Peterson back in Midnight Green, helping his former quarterback find his magic again. Until then, Eagles fans, stay loud, stay proud, and keep that chant ready, "Fly, Eagles, fly" on the road to victory. Because no matter how rough the flight gets, these birds always find a way to rise again. I'm your host, bringing you the latest from South Philly, and trust me, this story's just getting started. Stay tuned, stay fired up, and as always, go Birds.